Greetings, fellow gamers. Wanted to make a quick video for the people playing in the Quake Live Clan Arena League, just going over the main maps and kind of the 4v4 meta. So this should be pretty quick. I'm starting on Asylum here. And so the way that people kind of do it on this map is usually one person or, two people will fight over here, kind of at this back jump pad. You might hear this called jump pad or top. Two people will fight kind of in this area. I don't know what the actual name is for this, maybe like middle or something like that. But then you'll usually have two people fighting in here. I'll hear this called cubby. And then over here, and this maybe is called like bridge or stairs. And kind of like general strategy that you want to do is, you want to work with the person who's next to you to try to set up double team situations where you're going to hit two people with one rocket and things like that. And also, if you can, the person that you start out fighting, if you can knock them off of the top and down there, then obviously they're not helping their team. They're not shooting anyone. You can either, shoot them when they try to rocket jump back up, or use that time to double team, somebody else. So that's kind of the general strategy and the sort of general 4v4 meta on this map. I know this spot down here is a decent spot to like be LGing people up top. This area in Cubby is like big rocket fight because it's such close quarters. Yeah, that's it. So I just wanted to run through the maps real quick. So that's Asylum. Let's take a look at Campgrounds. All right. One other thing, if you're not going to those meeting points, those standard meeting points, you might hear that called going outer, and you kind of like hide on the backside of the map and just rail. But I'm, talking about if you are going to try to meet the other team at the sort of general top strong areas of the map. So for this map, the general strategy you'll see in 4v4 is one person will go rail, and then three people will be kind of on this bridge area, and maybe somebody will come to like rockets or play like this doorway or the sorry, this is where I call this rockets because this is where rocket spawns in like duel. So you might see somebody fighting in here, or you might see three people over here. But anyway, so the general strategy, there's like a big 1v1 that happens at rail. Whoever wins this fight will then start coming over here and either shafting or railing to try to help their team, or they can rocket jump over to try to help their team. So winning this kind of 1v1 is pretty important. And then usually over here it's just an absolute rocket fest with people flying all over the place. Same general strategies apply with you try to knock somebody off and then maybe help a teammate with a rocket to the back, but on this map, the low ground isn't quite as low, so you can rocket jump back up really quickly in a lot of situations. So you got to be aware of, if you get knocked off, look for people rocket jumping back up. If you are fighting out here, if you knock them all the way down there, then you can just go in and help your team because it takes them a while to get back up from down there. Anyway, that's a general strategy for Campgrounds, I'd say. One thing I notice a lot of people like getting stuck on this big jump pad when they're coming in. So, people are trying to pin everybody down there. So just one thing to kind of think about practicing when you're on your way to the meeting point is just like, look up and try to like dodge people that are trying to land on your head. If you do get pinned down here, just like you can just pull out your rocket or something and hit a direct rocket on them while they're on your head. So it's not the worst thing ever, but it does kind of mess up the positions. So anyway, just something to be aware of, people doing that. All right, let's take a look at the next map. So on this map, Overkill, main kind of strategy is for people to go to this top area here. And one thing I will mention for getting to this top area before I go over the positions is there's all this space on the map out here, and it can feel kind of difficult sometimes off your initial spawn. You're like you're trying to make it, and then you're you're strafe jumping, you get here, and then like maybe the round is started and you're here, and you still need to, your teammates are up there fighting, and you're kind of in not the best position. You can maybe like spam grenades, but this isn't. You want to try to make it all the way to top. So what I actually recommend, if you spawn in this back hallway, there's a couple of the spawns back here. If you just go this way, I think it's actually faster, and you make it through this teleporter, and you can just make it to top. This way, I think that's faster, and it takes you directly to top. You never get blocked by people or something and wind up on the mid-level by accident. Okay, so anyway, now that I've gone over that, the way that I usually see the sort of meta on this map, again, like this is a fairly small area for 4 people to fight, so it's just rockets and stuff flying everywhere. But we'll often see somebody on this area, which is called ledge, or like outer ledge, and people will fight here, and this is a good spot for kind of you can like spam here and then jump into the fight if you're uncontested. But often see some people fighting on there, like having one person stand here by the big pad, and this person, they have some good vision on the entire area. Also, this is a good spot for like if you're standing like right here, if you can knock somebody off. Again, if you knock them all the way to the bottom, it's really hard for them to get back up. If you knock them only to like the mid-level, then again they can rocket jump back up a little bit faster. I'll sometimes see people on this inner ledge, we call here, and then over here is like the fog pit side. So that's the fog pit down there. So this is just like fog pit side, and again it's just a rocket fest. Let's move on to Trinity. Okay, so this area, or this map, kind of has 3 main areas. This whole big room is called Grinder. Then this area is like bridge, or sometimes you hear that called telly exit. Then this is beams, and then there is a beams telly here. So one thing, the main kind of meta on this one is people go to Grinder and just fight. And there's the 4 spots are, this is like beams door here. This area here, this called like bend, or the middle. This is the tunnel, and you'll see people like they have like a 1v1 sometimes in the tunnel. And over here is a telly exit, kind of fighting over here. It's a little confusing because this is a door to beams, and this is also kind of a door to beams. But anyway, this is called the telly exit. One thing that I do see here is like you have a little bit more space, but there's also a lot of like room to kind of set up like some quick double teams. Again, like if you knock somebody down there, it's hard for them to get back up quickly. So it's kind of the general idea. Yeah, one other thing too, I know a lot of people like to 1v1 all the way deep in the tunnel. I think sometimes you can get too deep in here where you don't have a good position to help your team, or you get shot in the back a little too easily. So I like to keep it more towards this side of the tunnel, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, I can go to the last map here, which would be Quarantine. So this map has maybe a little bit less of like a defined meta. People just kind of do whatever at top, but I'll show at least what I've seen. Usually, so this whole area is called the Eagle's Nest, or just Nest. So usually what I'll see is 2 people like inside the nest, so meaning this area with the kind of like white floor, and then maybe 2 people kind of on this back side of the nest, like maybe like a one-on-one happens like here, and then maybe at the kind of big pad area where you can jump to help your teammates at nest through that route, or you can come to help them through this route if you knock the person off this big pad area. Yeah, so that's kind of what I see, and then usually people are fighting like inside nest, like around here, and then maybe like here or something, to try to give a little bit of space. So yeah, this map a little bit less of a kind of defined meta, but that's sort of the general areas that I see, and same general principles. If you knock somebody way down, then you have a lot of time to double team people on the enemy team. So anyway, I just want to do a really quick overview of the meta for anybody who's like in the league that's coming from Madhouse and is trying to learn what they're doing. But yeah, everybody take care.